Hey everyone, welcome to the Social Club back up north where it belongs for the whole 7 days. I'm joined by Ped, I'm joined by Chris. We've had a wonderful time recording some of the shows that we're going to go later on this evening, talking about whether England and a World Cup win is really impossible, as is being massively underhyped at the moment on the back of Gareth Southgate's irregulars that he picked against Germany, why there's such a mad drama about Lukaku's goal drought, and we're going to be talking about whether we can ever love England again over on my channel. But we're here, it's Ask the Club. You've sent some questions via Twitter. You can keep them coming in by the comments. Ben is over there. Hello, Ben.
Hello.
Perfect. Ped, I'm going to start off by asking you a question that comes from James Leyenberger on the Ball Street Facebook page, and it says, do you think Everton are stalling because they can't find a manager other than Sam Allardyce?
Me and Baz have just had done a video on this. No, I don't think they're stalling. I think what they want is
And what's achievable?
What they can have right now are two different things.
Okay.
So, I think they want a top-class manager.
They want Diego Simeone.
He does want it. I mean, you can laugh all you want, but that's who he wants.
I didn't laugh.
You were laughing
I
internally.
was laughing internally.
You were laughing.
I was ruffling internally.
He wants a top-class manager. He knows he can't have that now. I think what they're doing...
But if he knows he can't have that now...
Then he's just going to wait.
So he's going to wait and keep Unsworth?
I think what he wants to do is wait till the summer and I think Silver's probably more realistic because he likes Silver as well. I think that's more realistic, obviously.
Is it though? Chris, is Marco Silva realistic right now? He's
the bookies seem to think so.
I know, but he's flying.
He's the favourite at the moment, isn't he?
Flying with Watford. He's only just moved.
Last 3 games.
I know, but generally Watford.
One of them's to us.
Oh, great. Yeah, no, but not. But yeah, to a last minute missed penalty or a last minute score, whatever. The point is, he's doing a good job at Watford.
Everton are still a bigger club.
No, I'm not suggesting they're not a bigger club, but the point is, if you're talking about this, they're wanting a bigger manager in the summer. He's got a decent little situation going for himself at Watford at the moment. Is it that realistic that he'd move to a third club in the space of 8 months?
I don't know. Honest answer. I think it's more realistic than Simeone.
But yeah, of course it is.
Much more realistic than...
I'm more realistic than Simeone, let's be honest. No, I think that's the dilemma at the moment. There aren't a massive amount of good quality managers available right now. Certainly out of work, there's not that many, but even in work, you would struggle to get a really good manager out of his job at the moment. And I think the problem is what did he do in the meantime? Maybe that win against Watford give Unsworth a little bit more time, or give the club a little bit more time to think. I think they don't want to give it to Allardyce, really.
Do you think they could have kept Koeman a bit longer?
No.
Do you think they had to?
I think they should have had a plan in place.
Yeah.
To sack him, but I don't think they could have, because it was a mess. The whole thing's a mess. The whole club's a mess. Anytime someone says you spent 150 million quid, that's fine. But we're in an absolute mess, and we spent 150 million quid. We didn't buy the players we should have bought. We bought luxury players, which I have no problem with any of the players we signed. I've said this loads of times, but we didn't buy players we really, really needed. And I think that's the problem at the moment. Maybe he'll give Unsworth a few more games and just see how he conducts himself and how the team plays.
Do you think the fact that he's picked up the win against Watford,
yes, I think
makes that a bit easier?
I think Allardyce would have been in the next day if we lost. I really do. Genuinely think Allardyce would have been the manager. But that has bought everyone a lot more time. I thought we would have had a manager in this international break.
This I mean, again, international, you got 2 weeks to get get someone in and you let him get his feet on the table.
As an outsider, who would you get?
I just box Allardyce off, if I'm honest.
Genuinely though, would you have Allardyce as a Liverpool manager?
As a Liverpool, don't be daft.
Well, there you go.
Well, yeah, that implies that I think Everton are as good a club or as big a club as Liverpool, which is aren't.
Of course we are.
So here's the thing. But I've got a whole separate argument about this whole why we're giving Roy Hodgson, David Moyes, and Sam Allardyce jobs still in the Premier League, and I think it is damaging the English game more than it's helping, and he's having great English guys in the job. But I think it depends on the perspective for Everton, because if the perspective is you're in a relegation fight, which I think it's still early in the season, I think it can be turned around, but it needs to be turned around from now. Because if you don't turn it around from now, you are. and you need to make sure that you stay in the Premier League, because it's all well and good having loads of money if you're in the Championship. Ask
No, I agree. But how many managers are out there that can turn it round and also push you on? That's why those managers like Allardyce and whoever, Pulis, they get jobs. But once fans get bored of that, like West Brom seem to be now, then suddenly you want the next thing.
Yeah.
I think that's where Everton...
But look, I don't think you're wrong for harbouring the ambitions of bigger and better, but it's that thing of, I think people are scoffing at David Moyes at the minute, and we'll have a question about it in a sec, actually. In fact, AFC Carlos on Twitter says, how do you think Moyes will do at West Ham? I think people are scoffing at the whole 6-month, 7-month contract. But provided they
I think he's scoffing at it, in fairness.
Exactly, yeah. But have you got
absolutely.
The quote?
I just think that I understand what West Ham are doing. They want to stay in the Premier League. They've got bills to pay, got players to pay. It's the only place to be. They can't afford to go down, and the Allardyce has been there and seen it and done it. They can't have him back, so they've gone for probably the next best thing. Well, not the next best, because Moyes has really only been tasked with this job once before, and it was with Everton. But that was in 2002. I probably got that wrong. But, so it's...
Some Evertonians.
I know, it's that long ago. I'm just... so it was a long time ago. So when he got asked to do that job, so it's a completely different world now. But he's the only one really available out there. I think he'll probably do all right there. He'll just get the shape and he'll keep them up. And that's all they'll want.
So what I think we were chatting about this, weren't we, Chris? And his quotes.
His quotes are horrendous.
I don't think he's made. I think he's looked to defend himself.
Yeah.
He's been asked about the 7-month contract, hasn't he? And what do you think it'll work out or whatever? Go on, give us the quote.
I don't think it's a bad team, a bad squad, but I can't be bothered with any drivel. I'm going to be direct with the players. If they don't like it, then I'm sorry. We've got to make sure we get through to them quickly. If it works, great. If it doesn't, I'll see the East End of London for 7 months, then I'll go elsewhere. That's what David Moyes said to the Guardian.
That's I think that's perfect. Beautiful. It's good. No!
Shut your mouth, David.
Shut up, David. Because he's that everything said is fine, great. That's a bit. That's something for the fans to rally behind. It's something for the management team there to rally behind. Great. But then to go and say, if it goes tits up, I don't care because I'm going anyway. That's him. That's like him defending a personal criticism somehow. He's like saying, well, no, it's not on me, is it? Past that, which I guess is what you. Which I guess is what the players. But exactly. But I guess this is what you are kind of looking to avoid in that regard. There's a guy going, well, I've been tasked with keeping us up. If I keep us up, I'm a hero. If I don't, well, my hands were already tied and I'm going anyway.
And that's why Unsworth would probably be the one that did want to keep in the job till the summer, because he's about, he's got Everton in his heart, but also he wants to build his career. He wants to, this is seen as his job interview, or even his job interview for his next job, because Unsworth could get a big job off the back of doing well at Everton for 6 or 7 months. So I think we want to avoid the situation of having to bring someone in from outside for the majority of the season, and then hopefully get someone in the summer.
You can say a lot of things about Everton, but they have got good ambitions and high ambitions as well. And I think, the fact that they are linked with Simeone, and Mashiri probably wants, Simeone tells you that, doesn't it? The amount of money that they've spent. If they get in someone like a Silva or something like that, are they then able to take that next step quickly? Because if they keep Unsworth and he keeps them up, there is a possibility they get someone better in the summer.
I think the Silva thing makes sense because of what he did with Hall and what he's done with Watford so far. But the problem is you can be, is it ambition or is it being a fantasist? It's all well and good liking the idea of Simeone, but I don't think Everton. I think it's we got put out these troubles under Brendan Rodgers trying to attract certain talent, and it's like great that you want them and great that you spotted them, but it doesn't mean it's a realistic ambition. Everton are 5 years away from being able to attract Simeone, and that would need to be a five very good years to make it a realistic job.
You'd have to,
for someone like him.
You'd have to sell him the world, wouldn't you? You really would. You'd have to give him massive amounts of money for him to come, and then give him massive amounts of money to be able to get into the Champions League. Silva's probably more realistic, and he looks almost like everyone's looking for a Pochettino, aren't they? Let's be honest. Everyone is looking for that manager who hasn't quite made it yet and who's bubbling under the surface. And he seems to be the one. And maybe it suits Everton to wait for the rest of the season just to see how he gets on at Watford, because he started the season quite well. His record at other clubs before he comes to England is absolutely fantastic. And maybe Everton have to readjust their targets, Because I think what Everton really need to do is, and people might think I'm playing it down, but I think we need to just get our stadium sorted and make sure that's done. And once that's done, you go, well, we've got that now. Everything comes after that.
Sure, West Ham fans agree. What have you got for us, Ben?
Got a stadium.
A question from Josh. Is Big Sam a step backwards for Everton?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course he is.
No, yeah, I agree with that.
I laughed when he was linked. I said that's a ridiculous decision if Sam Allardyce goes there, because you haven't got the type of players that are right for Sam Allardyce.
No, but that's the worry, isn't it?
Not
That
sure
we
you've
haven't
got the
got
right
the
type of players for any manager at the minute, have you?
We've got. If you like playing 3 number 10s and no strikers, we've got the perfect players.
Who would be the manager for
Koeman, I think.
He's out of work. He's out of work, so why not?
He's got a house.
I seen last week.
Still got a blue Christmas tree.
Yeah, he wants his red Christmas tree back.
McIntosh is doing a Football Manager 2018 series, and he must have done like a lucky dip, and he got Everton, and there was just a picture of him. He's just like, what do I do with these players? It's like, that's Koeman.
I love that. McIntosh, big friend of Borsty's, of course. Yeah, this is the thing. I don't. Yeah, it is. No, but it is a step back because of the ambition of the summer.
It's a step back in your ambitions. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, I couldn't have him, he's a disgrace and all that. He has a job to do. If you find yourself in a situation, he's like the A-team. If you find yourself in a situation, kids, it was an 80s TV program. If you find yourself in a situation where you need Allardyce, well, then you just got to sit there and go, yeah, we've messed up here.
No, I agree with that, and that's why I think it's. I think in the context of when Everton came into the summer, we've got all the money, we're going to buy all these players, we're looking up here, we're looking at breaking into the top 6 or whatever, then it is absolutely a step back. But it's only a step back in that regard, because to be fair, I think he's an upgrade on Unsworth, because it's great and he understands the club and he's got a great record under 23s. If you get relegated with Unsworth, what was it was great to have that, but what was that's
what I'm saying, going back to what we were saying before. That's maybe what we'll find out in the next 3 or 4 weeks. Exactly, yeah. And then Allardyce might come in.
That's the thing. Allardyce can only really make an impact post-January anyway, when he's been able to buy a few players that he needs to suit his thing. So it's probably not pressing. You can probably afford to wait a couple of weeks and see how it develops. Go for it.
A question from LFC Aaron. Sam will definitely keep Everton in the league. Can you gamble on Unsworth also doing that?
Yeah, I think that's the trouble. That's
very heavy on.
Yeah, I think let's stop digging Everton out on this, shall we? That's it. Yeah, look, it's the obvious problem.
LFC Aaron.
Maybe his name's Aaron.
We'll switch it out.
He probably put that thing on that.
At the Gerrard fan on Twitter. It's fine. Winks or Tom Davies, who's better?
Do you know what? I've not seen anything of Winks. Honestly, so I can't judge. I've not seen anything of Winks.
It was. I'm amazed at where he's come from. I'm saying, like, I bits and pieces. And he was one of those lads who, if you had to make up your numbers in fantasy football last year, you'd stick him in because he'd might get a few games. Looking at this season, though, I was looking at his stats by comparison to Tom Davies, and in a creative sense, he wipes the floor with Davies.
Tom hasn't had a very good start this season.
I think that's the issue. Whereas you go back to last year, Davies had him. They both played a sort of comparable amount of minutes and what have you, but Davies last year was creatively much better and defensive, absolutely miles better.
Premier League wise, I think Davies had about 3 times as many minutes as Winks last year. In fairness, this season they've had about the same, about 500 odd minutes each. But last season, Davies, I tell you, who'll have the better career, Winks.
You think?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I think Winks will play with better players, and that's what it will come down to at the end of the day. I think if you were to put Winks in the Everton side, who'd be better? I'm not sure there's much of a difference, to be honest with you.
I don't know, when we get Simeone, it might all change.
Or he mixed in Everton moves to City, or...
No, yeah, exactly. I think Tom Davies, he's suffered more than anyone this season. He should have started the season, and he didn't. And because of that, someone like Klaassen suffered, and he suffered. So 2 players have suffered there when no one should have. He's been moved around, he doesn't know his position, and he's having the struggles that most young players have in their sort of second season. So he just needs to like knuckle down and be told where to play and what to do and just concentrate. Whereas Winks is playing in a good side, like you just said, playing his own natural game, and it's dead easy for him. And I said if you put him in our team, he'd probably be absolutely shite.
Matt Froud, we'll come back to your questions in a moment. Matt Froud on Facebook. Do Liverpool use transfer rumours as an appeasement tool, whereby they pretend to be interested in big players, Toff's laughing behind the camera, but ultimately don't want to spend the money, i.e. Van Dijk / Goretzka, etc. Chris Pajak.
I honestly don't know for definite, but I'd guess no.
Yeah, listen. Not having that inside loud, unfortunately, I couldn't tell you a definitive answer. My strong, the fact that I am fighting a belly laugh tells me my feeling on this is that Liverpool. Why? I don't think any company or sporting institution, whatever, would ever do something that makes them look weak or stupid deliberately. So you wouldn't want it. There's no benefit to be.
The only thing I would say is I am one of those people who ups the bid on eBay.
Yes,
like if you beat
Have
me
you
on
been
an eBay
introduced to
bid,
this concept of what Chris does?
I will force the bid up. If
So if
beats
Chris,
me.
if it goes beyond his pre-established budget for buying something, he'll chuck some more bids in to raise the price
Sometimes
of
quite
something
a
he's
lot
beaten
more.
him to it.
Yeah. And
Does anyone else?
And then just
We're
hope,
doing this live.
Just hope that they come back. Yeah.
Does anyone else deliberately try to make people pay more money for something on eBay?
Has anyone actually though? Has anyone actually?
Do you?
Yes.
Yes, Ben.
I bought a camera recently, and I didn't have it. The price was more than I had to spend. I had £350 to spend. I was like, well, if I can't spend that much, then I might as well make them pay more. So
Yes, Ben. That's exactly what I do.
I don't know. It's just a spiteful thing.
It's a
isn't
spiteful
it?
thing.
You are spreading hatred into this world.
Have you ever been selling anything on eBay and got someone else to up the bid? So
No, I've never. That's see, you should working for your own benefit. There's no personal benefit other than spreading misery on the other end of that. You poor people, and anyone else watching who does that as well. Ben, have you got a question
I also
for
used to
us?
scam party poker back in the day as well, because I had a mate who lived abroad. So we used to get on Skype and play as a pair to try and win money, and it worked because he lived in Liechtenstein and I lived in the UK, and no one would think we're working together. Yeah, we won quite a bit of money.
Scammers everywhere.
I think FST are doing that, by the way.
Clearly. For the start, I think Liverpool absolutely want Virgil van Dijk, so I don't think that's a great example of it. The Goretzka stuff, here's the thing, what happens with Liverpool is that we are so desperate, we love the transfer thing, and Liverpool are a massive target for clickbait, for people who just make stuff up to try and drive it. So Liverpool, it's the Echo, but more like, I said it before, according to Don Ballon, Liverpool have got an agreement with Goretzka for January. Don Ballon are the metro of Spain or something, basically, which means they totally fabricate all this stuff. These names come out every transfer when you get to recognise them. If Liverpool miss out on him, it'll feel like Liverpool have lost something because we feel as though we've got him because we've been told bollocks that we've got him.
I thought Guillem Balaguer was the metro of Spain. Sorry.
No, he's the Daily Star of Spain in that regard. Yeah. He knows a bit, but not a lot. Yeah. We love Gil, I'm sure.
He's in Peter Cavanagh's in town anyway most days, isn't he?
He's having a bevy.
He's having a bevy.
Sweet.
There you go.
Sweet. Ben.
Yes. Question from Ryan. What do you guys think about Mane getting injured again?
Apparently, he's not injured.
Yeah, it was a precaution, wasn't it? I think, we had a medic over there with him or something, didn't we? Or someone from our medical team who was basically told if he stubs his toe, you bring him back, mate. And I think that's kind of what's happened.
I like it being like, what film was it where someone's being told to be overprotective of someone, and they try. Oh, it's Forrest Gump, for God's sake! The bit where
I thought it was Fate Attraction.
Yeah, when he tries to save Jerry, picking up she doesn't want to be saved. I get the feeling he's like that, waiting to swoop in, like carrying.
There's a lot of that going on in the world at the moment. So
What?
Nothing.
Got any more?
Not saying anything else.
Ewan says, Ben, can you say to Paul that Liverpool having Michael Owen as an ambassador for the club is embarrassing, especially after his recent comments?
Ben, can you say to Ewan that I totally agree? Michael Owen, who just constantly, and it must be deliberate at this point because you can't. How can you alienate yourself from every football club's fan base that you've ever played for so effectively? It's like he deliberately tries it, I think the only fan base he hadn't totally alienated were Real Madrid fans, and then he ran round BT Sports studio celebrating a Barcelona goal.
They probably didn't remember who he was.
He's got no self-awareness.
What's he
at all,
said
has
now?
He basically just talked about how he was just delighted to sign for Man United again. He's currently a Liverpool ambassador. Just wind it in. Stop doing interviews about Man United for a bit. For a few years.
I think what you've got to do, though, is you've got to balance all that up with his tours around Dubai, haven't you?
His helicopter
Yeah,
tours.
you've got to balance those two things up. And I think the helicopter tours win.
The bit where the golfer swings and it's the helicopter with the golf ball.
Yeah.
Like there's another edit to that which I'd have much preferred to see if I'm perfectly honest. Like that is the worst advert ever a footballer's ever done in the history of adverts ever. And Michael Owen needs to not be a Liverpool ambassador.
Apart from Pele doing Viagra.
No,
No,
but it's better.
Okay,
That's better.
not the adverts I've seen.
Well, I mean, better for Pele than that was for Michael.
Where he
because at least Pele got to get
in this advert. Where he got some of his 1,000 goals from. I'm just saying.
No, Michael Owen should not be a Liverpool ambassador.
Chance. He's a little scrotum. Doesn't need to be involved with us, does he?
Christmas card
Off the list.
off the list.
Ben, I want two more.
Two more. Mr. ASG, are we mildly excited to watch England versus Brazil? It's the first time in a while I'm looking forward to an England game.
I would be excited to see Brazil. I'm probably going to forget this is a thing tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I've already got plans. I'm going to speak to Freddie from the Ugly Inside about Southampton, Liverpool.
Who knew that would be more exciting than watching England-Brazil? With the greatest respect to Freddie. Yeah. Right, Fred. Yeah, what about you? Excited?
I think 50 Shades of Grey is on Sky Movies. I watched that. Was it?
You know what? If I can find it, if I can convince me missus, because I like it. I like having this international break. To be honest, because I get on my life back.
Convince me, missus.
To let me have that time back when I'm already out a couple of times. No, I don't think.
You lost me.
What? Convince your missus?
So you said convince.
She does
me,
everything
missus.
that you need. It's fine. Let's not get into that. One more.
One more.
No more.
Okay, Ben, can you ask Paul and Chris who do they think should get the BBC African Player of the Year, Mane, Salah or Keita?
What about Aubameyang? Or Victor Moses, also in the running. Salah's going to win it, isn't he? Because it's an online poll, I think.
Yeah, he wins online polls unless Lovren's in it.
Salah doesn't lose online polls, so yeah, I think Salah probably deserves it, to be fair.
Yeah, he was unbelievable for Roma, wasn't
He was class for Roma. He's been class for us so far, and scoring a decisive goal that got Egypt to the World Cup is probably enough for your hero moments. Mane was great for us last season, and he's been good for Southampton stuff. I don't know if that's the case. And as Aubameyang's career kind of dropped. Victor Moses, though, with the greatest respect, who knew he'd be such an integral part of a Premier League winning side?
He won things.
Certainly not us. Certainly not with us. Okay, brilliant. Thanks very much. Let us know your thoughts on anything we've discussed in the comments below. If you want more Ball Street Social Club from the North, you can check it out. We've done extra videos talking about whether the World Cup's an impossible dream. Check that out on the channel by clicking on the screen after the fact. Subscribe to the Ball Street channel. Subscribe to ToffeeTV. Subscribe to Redmen TV. Subscribe to Mates TV. And check back for Social Club South next week. I want you, though, before then, to use the comments below to rank the Social Club guests / presenters. So the North and the South. I want a top 5 or 6 or 10 list, whatever you want to go into detail. I want you to rank them. Put the North at the top because you know what to do. You know what's right. And we'll see you back
Ped's
here.
Definitely the Salah in this, isn't he?
Fortnight. Ped wins. No Ped, no party. We'll see you back here for Social Club North in a fortnight.